Greetings, web coder. We're going to try to do an end-to-end here on a web app with a database. We're going to go through it kind of quickly, or else this will get really long. So it's all here for you written. So I'm not going to go through all that detail. I'm just going to kind of hit the example. So the getting started example is where I would go and jump into that. It's a twofold example. One is hitting the example code, a working example, I should say, and getting familiar with that, and then building our own. So let's jump into the working example first. And again, it's all here, so you can read more details on it, but let's download it and give it a run. And you can download it actually right here in the steps, and then just run the normal NPM type steps. So I have downloaded that to save a little bit of time here. Have not actually got it going yet here, so we need to do that. And it's the normal npm install we would do for a downloaded node project. And then we would do a node main. In this case, main is the runner. It says that the server is running on 3000, so we're going to pop open our friend here, browser, and we're going to pop over to 3000, and we have a little application here, and it's just a two-column database, so a very simple database, but we have a name here in our and a definition for our what those are, and you can look more at that. Now let's jump into the code. I can't wait to jump into code. So what are we doing with the code? Let's go over here and let's hop in there, and first let's hop into main for a quick second. We're going to go through this kind of quickly because it's all available to you, kind of just navigation. The big thing here in main, it's really similar to what we've been doing in the past, but is this database URI. So this gives us the name of the URI. And the important part is at the tail. It's quick def, we're calling this one here. And for your own, then you just give that a different name. And this is a local name here. And then when you put this into a production environment, you'd change that a little bit. But this is the name right there. The other things that we have going here for us in this is the main thing actually is, if you've had a database class, you know what a schema is. This is the simplest of schemas, two fields, right? One is called name, one is called text. And you can look more at that in detail. And you can we can add methods to these schemas as well. Here we're adding toString, which we're familiar with. We're also adding getting a count, getting all the elements. And you'll see how all the elements will actually work in a second. Actually, let's jump over to that. All the elements, if we go into the view part, which we're familiar with, these EJS files, here is the view. We've gotten familiar with that a bit, just giving it a title here. And from your HTML class, we have a table right here. And then we're iterating through this list here, and then showing those in the columns. Where did we get that list? That's where the controller or the middleware comes into play. And that is right here. And this is all available. So we're going through it quick, but it's all available, or else this would be a long video. Right here. Here is where when the path comes in and when we're routed over this direction by the router, we come in here. We're getting, remember that find all method? Remember right there? We have a method called find all, which returns all the objects in the database. We're getting all the objects, and then we're putting them into a variable called list, and then we're rendering this view, list.ejs, which again is right here. There's that list variable, and now we're iterating through them and showing. So that's a very quick overview of what how that looks. Now let's build our own. All right, so I'm going to actually. Let's see here. Actually, is that shut down? It should be shut down. Yeah, it should be. Okay. We'll go here and do a copy paste actually, just to have a template to work with here, and call this one to do. Alrighty, and I like to actually rebuild. Just feels cleaner, I think. Just to rebuild it, rather than copy all the modules over. So npm install, and then we'll be ready to go. All right. So the first place, so if you remember in the main file, we had that URI. We want to change that. We don't want to use the old one. We have our new database. we'll call it to-do. We're building a to-do database of to-do items, like a to-do list, right? All right, I like to work at the model on the model first. So let's hop into the model. This actually, we're going to change a couple file names to to-do. No longer definition, just a couple file names to change. One directory name in the views here. We've got this. It's no longer defs. It's now to-dos. And I think that's actually it. One more maybe. Yes, one more there. Okay, all the file names and directories should be in shape. Back into models. Like to work bottom up. This is our fundamental element again. Remember, it's the schema. So I'm just going to search for def. I'm not going to worry about comments just to save us time. I'm just going to worry about code. And this is no longer called def, it's now called to-do, right? And we actually want to have camel case there. That is about it there, but we want to get the schema right. If you recall, we were going with title and as one of the field names, and we're actually using text again, so we're good there. This wouldn't have to be required. We could say eliminate that, but just to save time, I won't do that. But I think a title would just be enough on a to-do item, and that's a choice that you can make on your own database type stuff. Do we have any other changes? We do have one from title text. This is how we construct these items, and we're going to construct it with a title. And like this is a little constructor, and as you look at this on your own, you'll get more familiar with this. But this actually just constructs an object, a to-do object. Save that, and then it has a sister here in the same directory, the initializer or the seeder. And I don't think you want to probably watch me code all of these seed items. That would not be super exciting. So let's copy those in. These are just the seeds to seed the database. Now let's search for def again then. And I'm not going to worry about comments to save time. Here is to-do. And do we have any other defs? We sure do. To-do. And one more. And probably one more. Case sensitive. We got to watch case. All right, so we're doing pretty good. We're going to hop up one layer to the middleware. I only have one thing there that's really specific. The common shouldn't be of any concern. If it's common, it should be common, right? To do. No, def. Search for def. That is now to do. All right, and this would be to do. And to do page. And that would be to-dos. And everything else, I think, oh, I got to have that to-dos. And all right, just a little bit of housekeeping there. This is now a to-do middleware. And we're going through it quick again, but on your own, you can play much more. Let's hop up another layer to the, let's go to routes. Don't want, because I have a tendency to forget that. And slow for some reason. Let's take a look for defs, and that would be to-dos and to-dos. Even the file names, case sensitivity for some operating systems, which is a gotcha. Set up to-do routes. Okay, so we want to change that to to-dos and to-dos and to-dos. And that's it for the routing. Let's see what we now have for views. Our last layer, really. The home page or the index page. To-do list, just change the title there. And not from defs to to-dos. And we can close that and get actually one more. We have our list here. I don't think we have very much in here. Again, just kind of a caption or a title, to-do list, something like that. The important part then is getting, this is the header columns was, you know, from your HTML text, that would be title. Important part right here is where we're referencing this, because we have to hit, our scheme is a little bit different, right? It has title there. All right, that's that. The last thing we want to hit then is our main. We touched the URI already. Let's finish up here with anything that has def in it. That would be a to-do seeder, right? Okay, that's good, that's good. All right, are we ready to give it a try? And we usually find a bug or two with a few changes like that, but we'll see what happens. And we did module not found in router. I always seem to have problems with the router. I do. What did I do there? Let's see, is there a def reference? There is not a def reference. It says line. Cannot find model in router. So we have a problem here. So we want to either change the file name. We're calling that to-dos here and to-do there. So we'll change that file name there. All right, and let's give that another shot. And we're up and running maybe here. So let's pop open our browser and give that a shot. 3000 port, to-do list. We have a to-do list with title and text. So I won't take any more of your time. This is quite long already, but that's just kind of navigation and end there on how to get going with the app and a database. We'll talk to you soon.